Mental illness is not a subject most people want to speak about. That's particularly true in the Black American community. Too many Black Americans see mental illness as something to be ashamed of, as a stigma to keep hidden away. You don't have to suffer in silence. Be assured, mental illness is a real medical condition, and like many other illnesses, it can be treated. But you must be willing to seek that treatment. This video will help you to advocate for yourself or a loved one to make sure your voices are heard.
To suddenly be told that, you have a mental illness, that is shocking. It's like, what? Me? How?
A teacher for more than 30 years, Karen's led an active life, traveling, dancing, doing yoga.
My diagnosis is generalized anxiety, and I suspect that I've been experiencing it throughout my life. I couldn't control the fear and the worry, and so I sought help.
There is no one type of mental illness, and there's no one type of a person affected by mental illness. But many Black Americans share common issues. Karen's experiences resonate for so many of us, male or female, old or young.
Research indicates Black Americans are no more likely to have some kinds of mental illness than any other racial or ethnic group. But Black Americans are more likely to experience anxiety and depression, and we face obstacles to getting the care we need.
That's right. Black patients face many disparities, from not being listened to by some medical professionals to not being prescribed the most effective medications.
It's not uncommon for some Black Americans to create their own barriers to treatment. They may distrust the healthcare system, or they may come from a cultural background that sees mental illness as a personal stigma, as a kind of weakness.
As African Americans, we've had to be strong. You don't have time to fall apart. You don't have time to not be strong. You can't afford it. There's no opportunity for failure. It's unacceptable. So that is why I think we struggle as hard in the African American community with the stigma.
Black Americans might not be willing to describe emotional distress to a physician, but we need to learn to overcome that hesitancy and advocate for ourselves.
If we don't advocate for ourselves with healthcare providers, our symptoms can be ignored. So rather than getting the treatment that we need, we may wind up compensating with harmful behaviors like alcohol, drugs, or acting out.
Mental health starts with awareness that having an illness that affects your mood and your behavior is just that, an illness. It can be diagnosed, and it can be treated.
The first step is saying, I have a problem. I'm not feeling right. From there, you need to find a healthcare provider who will listen to you and give you the respect and attention you deserve.
It's important for me to find someone who can relate to me as an African American. My psychiatrist is African American, my therapist is African American. Not to say that doctors that are not of color aren't good doctors. I have plenty of doctors that are not of color, but in this particular situation, I thought that it was crucial to have that cultural support.
Cultural support can be very important, especially for Black Americans. If you are diagnosed with having some form of mental illness, make sure you fully understand your treatment plan, whether it's medication or talk therapy or a combination of both.
Build a support network of family or trusted friends who can help you make sure you stay on your treatment program.
And if you have questions about the cost of your treatment and how you'll be able to pay for it, Ask to talk with a social worker.
Forget about the shame, because getting the help is more important than the shame. And so see a psychiatrist and a therapist. Rely on your support from your family and friends and your church.
Managing a mental illness is like coping with any other chronic health condition. For example, diabetes or high blood pressure.
Getting a diagnosis and a treatment plan that works for you can lead to a better future for you
and for the people you love.
You are not alone, and you can get through it.